Welcome all to Veranda IAS. As we have seen in the previous lecture of ours that how to prepare for this exam in a most comprehensive manner. Now we'll be starting this journey for understanding the internal security. So today we'll learn about what exactly is the internal security, what exactly are the challenges to it. Then in that context only, we'll understand the national security, internal security, difference between the internal security and the external security, and the challenges to internal security. What is this national security? When we use the word national security, it is a concept where a government should make sure that the state and its citizens are protected against all kind of crises through its political, diplomatic, economic and military might. What is this idea saying is that the government is making sure that the state and its citizens are protected against all kind of crisis. This is known as national security. National security is a big topic, big idea, and internal security is part of it. Right? So internal security is not national security because national security includes all kind of security, all kind of crises are included under national security. Then if we see the idea of national security is more comprehensive than the internal security, and it includes all internal security related perspective and all external security related perspectives. Then what is this internal security? It is the responsibility of the state. That is why, what responsibility? To protect the domestic peace and tranquility. What is domestic peace and tranquility? Like it is free from violence. Peace is not just absence of violence, not just absence. Rather, it includes the inclusive development or inclusive growth of all section of society. And whenever a country is growing, it must not face challenge from any other group. There must be proper maintenance of law and order. In India, in domestic suburbs, the law and order is the responsibility of police, which is a state subject. So whatever the police, whether it is related to organized crime like drug, extortion, all aspect related to it is a part of maintenance of law and order. Then that law must be equally applied and there must be equal protection of the law, which means that, as you must be knowing, today in our country, the judicial process of grievance redressal is very slow, because of which some people are either able to evade that law, clutches of law, or they are able to delay in their benefit. So how they are able to delay? With the help of money. So in that context, if you see equality before the law, some people are able to take the advantage of that loophole. Now, their internal security involves there must be judicial reforms for maintaining the equality before the law and equal protection of the law. There must be ensuring that people are free of any fear or oppression. What fear? That terrorism must not be there, communal violence must not be there. All these aspects are not there. People must be free of fear and the oppression that these terrorism, left-wing extremism, Naxalism, these are not there. So this becomes the part of internal security. And then there is peaceful coexistence and communal harmony. There must not be communal violence. Then, not just communal violence, it must not have any religious hatred, caste-based prejudice, right? That is the responsibility of the state in the context of maintaining the internal security, right? So what is the difference between internal security and external security? As you have learnt about the responsibilities of the state, now you must also know about the difference between internal security and the external security. External security, as the word suggests, it is done from outside the state's boundary. Outside the state boundary. Like whenever some army is coming, right, or some diplomatic issue is to be discussed, say in UN or with any country, that becomes part of the external security. So, as you have understood that the internal security and external security difference, internal security in that context is done from within the national boundary, like internal security when you are talking about drugs, when you are talking about arms or any cyber attack or any say attack on your communication network, or if you say any other attack which happens. So you are talking about the aspect of internal security. What I am trying to stress here is that internal security, the area or working of internal security or external security is different. Both are different, working in different areas. However, you can clearly understand they are interrelated. See, when we are talking about cyber security, we are talking about cooperation from other countries as well. When we are talking about drug trafficking, we are talking about cooperation from other countries as well. So, both are interlinked. However, their area, their focus area of both of them is very different. I hope you can clearly understand that, right? Next difference, it is in subject to violence by a foreign country. When a foreign entity is involved with regard to borders, say there is a war between India and China, or China is doing something with regard to Indian borders, Galwan Valley clashes, must have heard about Arunachal Pradesh, 5-finger, 4-finger problems, right? You will be reading about them in your international relations. So, when we are talking about external security, we are talking about violence by a foreign country. However, when we are considering the internal security, the sovereignty and territorial integrity are considered while dealing with the internal security. Only the sovereignty, if someone is challenging the government by making a parallel government within India, by asking about separatism from the India, by having bomb being exploded, by the terror attack, by the questioning the very existence of the state in India. So that is the idea of the internal security, that whenever someone India's sovereignty means the supremacy of taking decisions. Government is sovereign in our India, and if somebody is questioning the legitimacy of the government, it means it is questioning the sovereignty of the country. Now, the territorial integrity of the country. Territorial integrity, if someone is, say, this is our territory. Say, suppose, these are the defined borders. Some place nearby, say, this place wants to get separated from India. Someone is not, territorial integrity means that rules and laws will be applicable. Say in northeast region, insurgent region, they are not letting police enter these places. So it questions the very basis of the territorial integrity of the state and sovereignty of the state. I hope you are able to understand. Then who is responsible? The armed forces are responsible for safeguarding the country in the context of external security, and police force is responsible for maintaining public order in the context of internal security. Then which ministry? Ministry of Defense, right, armed forces, and Ministry of Home Affairs in the context of the internal security. Why I am trying to make you understand here is, your topic name is internal security. Challenges to internal security. First you will understand the internal security and then you will understand the challenges. I hope if you apply your mind like this, the way we have designed our classes, you will be able to clear your exam in your first attempt. That should be your dream, that should be your idea, that should be a plan to work on, right? So what are the challenges to internal security? There are certain challenges which are there from times immemorial. There are certain challenges which are there, which are coming new, non-traditional. So old challenges we have categorized as traditional, and new challenges we are categorizing as a non-traditional challenges. Tradition and non-traditional, which are traditional means coming from past. Non-traditional means which are new. What are the traditional challenges? Terrorism is a challenge, right? It questions sovereignty as well as territorial integrity. Organized crime against sovereignty, drugs, extortion, where people are feeling threatened to live in our country. Oh, some don will come, he will ask for money. So jao, sleep, gabbar might come, right? So all kind of these are linked to organized crime. Whenever you are fearing your safety, you must question the government. That is the idea. Why government? Because for the very purpose government is made, right? To help you, save you from these challenges of internal security. Next is growth of militancy, right? The arms, like growth of militancy in India is in J&K. The militancy growth we have seen in 1980s in Punjab. The growth of militancy as experienced by Sri Lanka in northern region, which is creating the migrant issue in India. Also the growth of militancy if you see in northeast region, in the central region of India like tribal region of Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand, Abu Jamadiya's region, right? Next is multilateral institutions are getting powerless. Multilateral institution in the sense that those which control the overall financial framework, if they are getting powerless, that will create problems. Yes or no? For the world, if UN is getting ineffective against its trade for drugs, for arms trafficking, for drugs trafficking, so it will affect all other countries, right? Then evolving multipolar world and shift towards Asia, yes. Shift towards Asia, especially China, and China is now playing all means so as to expand its territory, so as to extract more resources from other countries, right? Then proliferation of nuclear weapons of mass destructions, a big challenge, traditional challenge, but it's the challenge or not? Yes or no? Yes or no? See, our both neighbor possesses nuclear weapon, and both neighbors, Pakistan and China, are hostile towards India. Now, in that hostility, possibility, probability, yes or no? Yes, right? Next is instability in the Afghanistan-Pakistan region, right? Balochistan region, Tora Bora mountains, and as you must be knowing in recent times, the Afghanistan peace process is going on. A lot of problems that it might create for India, right? In 1990s, when the USSR left Afghanistan, lot of militants entered into J&K and created the problem, you must have heard of the exodus of the Kashmiri Pandits. Yes or no? Right? Then maritime security, right? Maritime security like Kasab, which came in India, came through the Arabian Sea. It does not come through the Pakistan border or any border. Maritime security, yes, it is very much needed, right? Then energy security. India has limited resources, so energy is not there, and growing population, so that is also a traditional security challenge, right? Right? What are the non-traditional security challenges? In the current era of globalization, non-security challenges, see, you must have heard of COVID, right? So, COVID is spreading because of globalization. Countries are interlinked. If certain country has that virus, people are traveling, right? That is because of globalization, right? Globalization means interconnectedness of goods, people, ideas. When people are traveling to and fro, and globalization was going since times immemorial. People are traveling since time immemorial. However, the pace of globalization has increased in the recent 30 years. So, the idea of globalization is leading to new challenges, yes or no? The idea of globalization, how will you catch hold of cyber criminals? Recently, a heist was conducted of $1.8 billion of Bangladesh bank. People sitting in Hong Kong or some different transnational territories conducted that heist. Must have heard of. So, the globalization has given new dimension to various challenges to internal securities like epidemics and pandemics. Yes or no? Cyber security threats. I talked about a heist being planned 3 years in advance for Bangladesh Bank, Central Bank of Bangladesh. A heist was planned there. Then climate change. Countries going for climate change and creating problems like if you see the dispute between two states, Tamil Nadu and Karnataka, you will find out the river water is drowning because of the climate change and creating internal security challenges. Indirectly, it is responsible. Yes. I hope you are understanding this. If river melt happens, Indus water will have more. If Indus river glacier, if glacier that melts, that water level will rise, it might cause flood in the adjoining region of India and Pakistan. Yes. Then disaster. Then HIV and HIV AIDS, which is happening. Yes, it's a known traditional challenges. Lot of disease you can name now. SARS you can name, Ebola you can name, like bird flu you can name, right? All these challenges to internal security. Then weapon proliferation. Yes or no? Weapons coming into India from Sri Lankan border or from Bangladesh border or from Myanmar border or from Indian border going to other countries. Yes or no? That's a known. Why it is happening? Because people are traveling. Yes or no? You cannot curb their movement, and it is very difficult to curb the genuine from the non-genuine. And then there are environmental security threats. All these implications will be studying in our coming lecture. So, idea of internal security are very clear, and also the idea of internal security challenges you must be very clear. I hope you must have understood the idea of internal security and internal security challenges in a very beautiful sense. Thank you so much.